Good evening, traders. Brand new trading week. It's 14th of November. Let's have a little look at what's happening news-wise this week. If I can just drag it down. Not as bad as last week. Last week was there was so much news, unbelievable. But this week, not so much. But we do have plenty of GBP news, so just look out for that if you're trading the pound. Tomorrow morning, claimant count change, 7 a.m. CPI on Wednesday morning, again 7 a.m. 2:15 p.m. on the Wednesday, monetary policy report hearings, and on the Thursday, the autumn forecast statement. So could be plenty of volatility on the pound, so just be aware of that. And of course, we've got some other high impact news as well, so keep your eyes on that, especially if you're trading intraday. I like to look at this as well if I'm thinking about placing an end of day trade, like this, for instance, Aussie. We've got some news coming out at 12:30 a.m. Me personally, I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't put an end of day trade on with the Aussie involved if I knew some news, high impact news, was coming out. In the early hours. So that's just my rule, but it's just something that you need to be aware of. So we've got Aussie news late, or early I should say, tomorrow morning, and early Wednesday morning as well, and Thursday morning. So yeah, just be aware of that. Always be aware of what's happening in the news and what's coming out with the high priority news. So quick look at the dollar. Just looking at the monthly time frame, obviously still got 16 days for the end of the month, so this current candle could change dramatically. It could look nothing like this at the end of the month. So but looking bearish at the moment. Does that mean we could be changing trend? Well, I mean, possibly, but the momentum is still to the upside, if I'm honest with you. And even if we saw this candle close like this, we've had this big move, so this one bearish candle here, okay, we could call it two, but this one big bearish candle is nothing compared to this whole move. And you can see back here where we've had, I'll just take this section, this move here, this deep pullback, and we still go on to make a higher high. So keep an open mind. Yes, it's bearish at the moment, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a change of trend or a change of sentiment. I would stay on the fence. Now, there's also this, which is what I spotted earlier. So we've actually got some resistance here, and we've actually rejected the resistance. So this is quite an interesting, an interesting part of the dollar index to look at as well. Because if this resistance holds, then maybe we will see some downside. So I would really have my options open, but I wouldn't judge the monthly candle on I wouldn't judge what's going to happen with the dollar index based on this monthly candle at the moment. But it's definitely bearish, obviously. Now I'm just going to drop down to the daily now, because the last couple of days of the trading week last week, when we had worse than expected CPI news, they weren't bad numbers actually, but they were worse than expected. We saw the dollar sell off. Now if this is going to continue to push down, and we can obviously see that price has broken the trend, as it were, the trend line. Now, is this a bigger correction for upside? Because on the monthly, it's still bullish, or are we going to see further downside on this, at least for the time being? Well, what I would be looking for, firstly, would be for price to come back and test this level here, because this is a level of support here, support there. Can you see on Thursday's candle found support there, then it broke. Well, what do we look for when a level breaks? We ideally look for it to come back and retest it. And then in this case, if we were looking to short the dollar, we want to see sellers come in, okay, for the next move down. And then we'd be looking for price to come into this zone here, which is also a support level, previous support, maybe 105. I mean, I'd be looking around a big number, to be honest with you, so somewhere around there. This is around about 108. So this would be the first port, of course. So I would be looking for some short-term, at least, short-term dollar bulls, dollar bullishness to come in, taking price up to test this 108 zone. Now, if we close above this level, daily close above, I'll be looking for a retest of this level and then looking for another push up, and then I'll be looking for price to come into this level here, because this was also a level of support broken. Notice that these levels have been broken, but they haven't been retested. So for me, it's almost like a magnet for price to go back to test the level. So first things first, be looking for some at least short-term buyers to come in to test this level. Then I want to see how price reacts around this level. If we see a rejection pattern, then potentially we're going to come back to 105. If we see price close above, I'd be looking for a pullback, and I'd be then looking for price to come back and test this level up here, which is right about, we'll call it 109. We'll call it 109.50. So, you know, I've got ideas, got plans, depending on, you know, what happens at what zone. Okay, and of course, if price was to just not test this previous support here and just go straight down into 105, then again, I'll be waiting to see, well, do we see a rejection pattern here? And I'd still be looking for price to come up and test this level, or do we break, close below, looking for price to retest, reject, and then looking for shorts. So I'm looking for price to gravitate towards these broken levels and then to see how price reacts. So gold has been, obviously, with that bearish USD, the gold has been gold has obviously been doing well with that bearish USD. So I would like to see price come back into this level here. You can see this resistance level here. We pushed up into the level, had a small rejection candle, and then boom, bullish engulfing candle. Another small candle, and then boom, more volatility, more buyers coming in. So what would be nice if price would come back into this zone here, around about 1727, and then I'll be looking for clues as to what's happening next. Are we going to see reject, you know, and I'll be looking for 1800 to be tested, or do we close below, look for the retest, and then look to sell again? Again, you know, this will be highly dependent on what happens with the dollar. So that's what I'll be looking for. Short-term dollar buyers to come in, and then we see what happens. Does that buying continue, or do we see the dollar sell off again? So today's been a pretty quiet day, really quiet start to the day, actually. Very, very hard to make money unless you were trading very, very small time frames. We did try and look for an opportunity on pound CAD, actually, but that one hasn't really come to fruition. I'll just give you the bigger picture on this one. We actually broke this trend line, as you can see, and impulse down. I'm looking at this price action here as basically a correction of this impulse down, and within this structure we saw a break and a close below this CTL counter trend line here, and potentially that could have been the start of a move down to test this support here. So we could look at this as a head and shoulders, a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The CTL is a neckline, break of the neckline. Now the textbook way to trade a head and shoulders, or an inverse head and shoulders, is a break and retest of the neckline. So price comes back, retest the CTL or the neckline, but instead of rejecting, it's continued to the upside. So there is no sell signal there, unfortunately. So, you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's still early days. It's Monday. You know, still got plenty of time to go to try and make some money from the markets. Hopefully, we're going to see some proper volatility in the market from tomorrow. But today's been very, very cautious. The market's been very, very cautious, and nothing really much to report. Some good news though. If you watched my my last two videos, I talked about CAD Swiss, and to look for sells when we break below the counter trend line. And indeed, it played out very, very nicely. We had this lovely bearish close here, and it just moved down. So if you were paying attention to my videos and you paid attention to this particular currency pair and what I was looking for, you can see the close below here. So all you needed to do is place a sell stop below. Now options are a stop loss above the high or a stop loss above there. I mean, once it's closed below, for me, you can put the stop loss there, to be honest with you. And if you did that, you would have over doubled your risk, doubled your investment. So it would be a 200% return of investment. So well done, guys, if you paid attention to my analysis on CAD Swiss, because you made some free money. So that's great. So yeah, today's been very, very quiet, like I say, but I will be looking for some dollar buyers to push price up into this zone here. Then I want to see how price reacts. Do we break above? And then I would be looking for a retest to go long, or do we come into the zone and reject, and then we're looking for sellers to take it into 105. And then of course you can relate what's happening on the dollar index to the other USD pairs, okay, whatever you're looking to trade, because we don't necessarily trade the dollar index, although on some brokers you can, but we would most normally trade one of the USD pairs, and obviously the inverse of the dollar index is the euro. So if you were looking to sell US dollar, you'd be looking to buy euro USD. If you're looking to buy the US dollar, you'd be looking to sell the euro USD. So yeah, so keep your eyes on the dollar index and then use that as your tool, if you like, to understand whether you want to be buying or selling the US dollar. But yeah, for now, keep your options open. Early days, like I say, Monday. So let's see what we can do this week. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, give us a share, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys, bye.